He thought it would be funny to force a little black girl to fight him, to turn a sparring match into a joke. But when she stepped into that ring, she didn't just fight back, she rewrote the rules. And what happened next left the entire arena in stunned silence. The gym was loud, fists pounding into bags, the sharp bark of trainers, the squeak of worn-out shoes. It smelled of sweat, effort, and unspoken dreams. In the middle of it all, Tyson the Hammer Rourke stood like a mountain, towering, broad, cocky, a regional champion with an ego to match. Tyson had carved his name through knockouts and arrogance. He didn't just win fights, he crushed spirits. People didn't like him, but they feared him, and Tyson loved that. That afternoon, as the junior boxers finished warm-ups, Tyson swaggered into the ring with a smirk. "All right, let's have a little fun," he growled. "I need someone to spar. Who's feeling lucky?" Silence. No one volunteered. They knew what that spar meant, a public beating. Then a voice called out from the back, calm, clear, and high-pitched. "I'll do it." Heads turned. Tyson turned and saw her. She couldn't have been older than 14, maybe 15. Slim, dark-skinned, tight cornrows, wearing oversized gloves and a second-hand hoodie with faded print. "Fight like a girl." Tyson burst out laughing. "You? Seriously? I asked for a spar, not daycare." But Zariah just nodded, calm. "I'm not scared." The gym buzzed. Some laughed. Some fell into awkward silence. Coach Malik, the old grizzled trainer who ran the place, stepped forward. "Tyson, she's new. Don't play with her." "I won't play," Tyson smirked. "I'll teach." Zariah climbed into the ring, focused, eyes locked. Tyson danced around her like a lion circling a kitten. The crowd of gym-goers started pulling out phones. A few were already live streaming on Instagram. The bell rang. Round one. Tyson didn't swing at first. He just feinted, making her flinch. He chuckled. "You scared yet, little girl?" Zariah didn't answer. She watched his feet. He threw a soft jab. It grazed her gloves. Then, without warning, he lunged with a heavy right hook. Boom! Zariah staggered. The crowd gasped, but she didn't fall. Tyson leaned in. "Told you, you don't belong here." Another jab. A body shot. Tyson was toying with her. Coach Malik shouted, "Enough! Tyson, she's a child!" But Tyson wasn't listening. He was enjoying it now, making a show of breaking someone half his size. Through the blur, Zariah remembered her mother's words that morning. "They'll try to make you small, make you doubt yourself, but you're more than fists, baby girl. You fight with heart." And she remembered the photo in her locker. Her brother, Malik Jr., killed in a street fight 2 years ago. He had trained here too. Zariah wasn't just fighting Tyson. She was fighting everything he represented. Second round. This time she dodged the first 2 jabs, then ducked, then snap, landed a clean left jab to Tyson's chin. The crowd went silent. Tyson froze, stunned. Zariah's eyes were focused now. No fear. Her stance tightened. Her breath slowed. She had studied him, watched his footwork, and now she was reading his moves like a book. Embarrassed, Tyson threw a hard hook. Too hard. Zariah slipped it. Then a cross. She dipped low. And then, pop, jab to his ribs. The crowd roared. Phones were now aimed steadily. Comments flew in. "Yo, this girl is real." "He's getting worked." Coach Malik folded his arms, a smile ghosting his face. But Tyson? He was furious. "You little brat," he growled. "You think this is a game?" Tyson lashed out, not with a boxer's grace, but with rage. He threw a dirty punch after the bell, a shot straight to her side. Zariah crumpled, gasping. The gym booed. Even the live stream commenters were disgusted. "Low blow." "Kick him out," Coach Malik stormed in. "That's it. You're done. But Zariah held up a glove. No, she said, standing again. One more round. The gym fell into silence, and Tyson smirked. Your funeral. The bell rang. Zariah stepped forward, slower now but sharper. Every breath she took was deliberate, every movement controlled. It was no longer about survival, it was about reclaiming dignity. Tyson came at her again, wild, impatient, thinking he could end it now. But Zariah wasn't where he expected her to be. His right jab flew past empty air. She ducked under it, then cracked a shot to his exposed ribs. Tyson winced. For the first time, Tyson felt pain. Each move now was powered by something deeper. She wasn't just fighting Tyson. She was fighting every coach who had ignored her, every classmate who laughed when she said she wanted to box, every time someone called her just a girl, and most of all, the pain of losing her brother. Quick cut-ins flashed through her mind. Her mother working night shifts, her brother's bloodied gloves, the sound of a gunshot on that street corner. His voice, "You're stronger than you think, Z." At first, they watched to see a girl get humiliated. Now they were cheering for her. Let's go, Zariah! Come on, show him what's up! People who had never said her name were now chanting it. Even Coach Malik, who had doubted her, was standing now, wide-eyed. Tyson's confidence cracked. He swung, wild and off balance. Zariah dodged, again. He lunged, she pivoted, and landed an uppercut right beneath his jaw. Tyson staggered. The gym exploded in shock. Phones shook as people screamed, jumped, live-streamed. The arrogant boxer looked dizzy. Zariah didn't chase. She just stood still, breathing, focused. Tyson shook his head. No, no. But his legs betrayed him. He stumbled back. She stepped forward, calm. 1-2 jab. He lifted his arms to block. She dropped low, just like her brother had taught her, and drove a right hook into his liver. Tyson let out a grunt, deep, animalistic, and collapsed to one knee. The bell rang, but it was over. The crowd couldn't believe what they had witnessed. Tyson Rourke, the undefeated regional champion, had been dropped by a teenage girl. There was silence for a second, and then roar. The gym, once filled with smirks and mockery, was now on its feet. Kids screamed. Coaches high-fived. Even some of Tyson's old fans were clapping. Zariah turned to leave the ring, gloves trembling, not from fear, but from adrenaline. As she stepped out, Coach Malik met her with a stunned look. He opened his mouth, but words failed him. He simply nodded and whispered, "Your brother would be proud." That night, the clip hit the internet. The title was brutal. Cocky pro boxer gets schooled by teenage girl in sparring match. Within hours, it had 1 million views. Comments flooded in. She fights like Allie. Damn. Tyson had it coming. This girl's going places. Sports blogs picked it up. Then local news. Then ESPN. Tyson's sponsors dropped him within 48 hours. He tried to claim it was fake, edited, unfair. But reality doesn't edit itself. His reputation spiraled. He wasn't feared anymore. He was laughed at. No more fight bookings, no more arena invites, just silence. And Zariah? Zariah got a call from a youth championship coach. They wanted her in the State Youth Women's Boxing League. Weeks later, Zariah received a letter. It wasn't fancy, just a folded piece of paper delivered to Coach Malik, written in black ink, short, quiet. "You taught me something I never thought I'd learn in a ring. Humility. Thank you. Tyson." She read it once, folded it up, put it inside her locker next to her brother's picture. Months passed. Zariah trained harder than ever. She entered amateur tournaments and won. By the age of 16, she was featured in Women of Grit magazine. By 17, she stood at the USA Junior Boxing Nationals. Commentators whispered about the viral clip that started it all, but now they were whispering about her future, not her past. They said it was unthinkable, that a teenage girl could knock down a champion, that she could survive the rage of a man twice her size, that she'd turn humiliation into a legacy. But the real unthinkable thing was that Zariah didn't just fight. She changed the sport. She changed the room. She made them all believe in what no one thought possible. The world thought she was a joke, that she'd last one punch. But the thing about real fighters is, you don't measure them by size. You measure them by what they refuse to back down from. And Zariah, she didn't just win a sparring match. She changed the game. A microphone trembled slightly in front of her face. Zariah sat in a chair that felt too big, under lights too bright, with cameras too close. She wasn't used to this. She was used to sweat, to bruises, to silence. Now she was sitting across from a local news anchor, live on air. "So Zariah," the woman smiled, "how does it feel to become a national sensation overnight?" Zariah looked down for a moment, then up. Her voice was soft but steady. "I didn't step into that ring to become famous. I stepped in because I was tired of being invisible." The screen cut to B-roll of Zariah walking home through the Bronx. Kids yelling, sirens in the distance, trash drifting down the cracked sidewalks. She wasn't popular. At school, she kept her head low, carried her gloves in a plastic grocery bag. She got picked on. Too quiet, too tough, too different. Even her teachers gave up on her early. "You're too distracted, Zariah. Maybe you should focus less on fantasy and more on reality." But boxing was her reality. It was where no one could interrupt her, where no one cared about her skin or her silence. Just skill, just fire. Meanwhile, Tyson's world crumbled fast. Clips of the match were dissected by influencers, analysts, ex-fighters. What the hell was he thinking? He punched her after the bell. Ego destroyed him. One video racked up 10 million views in 2 days titled, "When Arrogance Gets Knocked Out." He posted an apology. Too late, too scripted. It didn't land. No one wanted to hear excuses from a man who bullied a teenage girl on camera. Sponsors dropped him. Gyms turned him away. Even his own coach refused to take his calls. But while the world watched the downfall of Tyson, Zariah went back to work. 5 a.m. runs in the rain, bare-knuckle drills with Coach Malik, watching old Ali and Claressa Shields tapes, sparring until her shoulders went numb, skipping meals to help her mom pay rent, but never skipping training. Her hands grew harder, her footwork sharper, and her focus unbreakable. One late evening, as Zariah finished mopping the gym floor, Coach Malik called her over. He didn't speak. He just handed her a sealed envelope. It had a gold crest on it. She opened it with shaking fingers. "Congratulations! You've been selected for the USA Junior Women's Boxing Trials." She looked up at him, stunned. He grinned. "You earned it, kid. Time to show the world what happens when a girl from the Bronx doesn't quit." In another corner of the city, Tyson sat alone in his apartment. The championship belts on his wall now felt meaningless. His inbox was empty. His phone, silent. He watched Zariah's interview on his cracked laptop screen. When she said, "I just wanted to be seen," he looked away. Because deep down, he remembered that feeling too. Once, long ago, Tyson fought for his mom, for a way out, for his younger sister who'd passed away in a hospital bed. But somewhere along the line, he traded purpose for pride, and now he had neither. Zariah's mom knocked on her bedroom door one morning holding a letter. "No return address," she said. Zariah opened it. Inside was a simple message. "That night, you reminded me what boxing is really about. I lost, but maybe I needed to. Train hard, stay humble. If you ever need a sparring partner, call me. T. Zariah folded the letter, didn't smile, but her eyes held something new. Forgiveness. The night before Zariah's trip to the Nationals, Coach Malik sat her down. He rarely talked about his past, but tonight he told her the truth. You know I trained pros back in the day, right? Big names, fast knockouts. She nodded. He took a slow breath. I also walked away from it all because I let one fighter turn into a monster. I built him, and I watched him fall. I promised myself I'd never train anyone again. Until I saw you. Zariah looked at him confused. Tyson? He nodded. He was my prodigy once, and now you are my redemption. Rain pelted the bus windows. Zariah sat in the back, headphones in, eyes closed. She wasn't nervous. She was ready. In her duffel bag, her gloves, her brother's photo, and Tyson's letter. In her heart, a storm that had been brewing for years. She wasn't just going to fight. She was going to prove that greatness doesn't come from fame, or strength, or size. It comes from surviving everything that was meant to break you. The National Youth Boxing Finals weren't held in a regular gym. They were inside a massive sports complex with bright lights, cameras, sponsors, and a roaring crowd that echoed like thunder. Zariah stepped into the venue with Coach Malik, her gym bag slung over one shoulder. She looked up at the banners, the spotlighted ring, the TV crews. She exhaled, slow and calm. Same ropes, she whispered. Different crowd. Malik nodded. And the same rules. You fight smart, you fight hard, and you fight like Zariah. Zariah wasn't the only name buzzing. There was Tina, the Hurricane Miles, the reigning champ. Undefeated, explosive, ruthless. She didn't smile when she saw Zariah, didn't even blink. She's cute, Tina said to her coach. Let's hope she lasts 2 rounds. Zariah didn't respond. She just looked at Tina's stance. She was quick, sharp, dangerous, but not unbeatable. As Zariah wrapped her wrist backstage, a shadow fell across the locker room door. Coach Malik turned. It was Tyson. No cameras, no crew, no spotlight. Just him. Hoodie pulled low, gym bag in hand. Malik stepped forward. I didn't invite you. I know, Tyson said. I'm not here to be seen. I'm here to help. Zariah looked at him for a long second. No anger, just curiosity. What could you possibly help with? She asked. He hesitated, then quietly replied, I know how Tina fights. I've trained with her, and I know exactly how to beat her. Coach Malik wasn't thrilled, but Zariah made the call. Let him stay. If he's honest, I'll listen. That night, the 3 of them, once enemies, now bound by something more complicated, studied tapes of Tina. They watched her tendencies, how she dropped her right hand after throwing a jab, how she moved counterclockwise when pressured, how she hated body shots. Tyson didn't talk much, but what he said was sharp, tactical, and valuable. Redemption wasn't just words. He was showing up. The bell rang. Zariah and Tina touched gloves, and war began. Tina came out fast, aggressive, swinging hard combinations. Zariah danced around them, absorbing the rhythm, reading the patterns. The first round, Tina's. The second, closer. By the third, Zariah started working the body, just as planned. A hook to the ribs, a jab to the gut, another dodge, then a quick snap to the temple. Commentators leaned into their mics. This kid's not backing down. She's studying her opponent in real time. She's adapting like a pro. The crowd that once only knew her as that girl from the viral video was now chanting her name. Zariah, Zariah. Her heart beat fast, but steady. She wasn't just surviving now. She was owning the ring. Mid-4th round, Tina charged forward, but slipped on sweat on the canvas. She fell hard, twisting her ankle. The crowd gasped. The referee jumped in. Zariah stepped back instinctively. She didn't want to win like this. But Tina stood, limping, stubborn. "I'm fine," she growled. "Let's finish it." The referee let it continue. But Zariah, she couldn't ignore it. She remembered what it felt like when no one showed mercy. In the final round, Zariah had an opening. Tina's defense was weak. One clean hook, and she could end it. But Zariah paused, and instead she stepped back, lowered her gloves, gave Tina space to reset. The crowd murmured, confused. Coach Malik shouted, "Zariah, what are you doing?" But Tyson smiled. "She's not here to win cheap," he said. "She's here to win right." With 15 seconds left, Tina lunged forward, but her ankle gave out again. Zariah slipped under her punch and landed a clean, controlled jab to Tina's shoulder. The bell rang. They both stood, breathing hard. No knockouts, no blood. Just two girls, bruised and equal, staring each other down. The judges deliberated. Then the announcer stepped forward. And the winner by unanimous decision, Zariah Washington. The arena exploded. Zariah stood frozen for a second, then dropped to one knee, overwhelmed. Coach Malik rushed the ring. Tyson stood behind the ropes, clapping quietly, then walking away before the cameras found him. He didn't need credit. He just needed peace. Later that evening, Zariah sat in front of reporters. Flashes popped. Microphones crowded her face. "Zariah, how does it feel to be the national champion?" She smiled. "It feels like something bigger than me just happened." Another reporter asked, "Were you tempted to go for the knockout?" Zariah looked straight into the camera. "I wasn't here to humiliate anyone. I know what that feels like. I came here to fight with respect, and I hope that matters more than winning." That night, alone in her hotel room, Zariah took out a notebook. She began writing. "Dear Malik, I wish you were here. I won today, not because I was the strongest, but because you taught me to fight with purpose. A man who once tried to break me stood in my corner, and I forgave him because you taught me. Strength isn't what you do with your fists. It's what you do when you finally have power and choose not to hurt back. I hope I made you proud. Z." The neighborhood is buzzing, not with noise or crime, but with laughter. Young girls in sneakers shadowbox near a gym. Above it, a bold new sign reads, "Zariah's Ring of Fire, Strength, Grace, No Fear." Inside, Zariah, now 19, is leading a class. She's taller, more muscular, still humble, still fire. She smiles as she watches a shy girl land her first clean jab. "Zaria, they thought breaking me in a ring would end me, but it built something stronger, something they couldn't predict." Photos hang on the wall. A bloody but triumphant 14-year-old Zariah. Her graduation cap, a gold medal from the National Youth Championship. A letter, full scholarship, Princeton University. Beside it, a framed apology letter, signed Tyson Cole. Tyson, once the smug, arrogant boxer, sits across from Zariah. Older, tired, humbled. His hands tremble slightly. "Zariah, you asked me to visit. Why?" Tyson, "I ruined your moment, tried to turn your strength into a joke, but I was the punchline, and I needed to see you because you gave me something I didn't deserve." Zariah, quietly, "What's that?" Tyson, a mirror. A new building opens down the street. Tyson Cole Youth Boxing Rehabilitation Program. He doesn't speak publicly. He doesn't ask for forgiveness. But he shows up every day, wipes the floor, wraps kids' knuckles, trains without cameras. He stays in the shadows, quietly rebuilding his life, not for redemption, but for responsibility. Zariah walks onto the stage at the Global Empowerment Conference. She's not a boxer today. She's a speaker, a scholar, a symbol. Zaria to audience. "When they tried to humiliate me, they forgot I was watching too. I saw their fear in my strength. I saw their discomfort in my presence, and I realized their violence was never about me. It was about their fear that a black girl could win. Crowd. Standing ovation. She sits by the window, writing a letter to herself. Dear Zariah, you survived the ring, but more importantly, you taught others how to walk into theirs with their chin high. This world didn't give you power. You took it with love, not fists. She places the letter in a box with her old gloves. Zariah is ringside watching a new girl, small, underestimated, quick, dominate her opponent with poise. The crowd cheers. Coach whispers to Zariah, she reminds me of someone. Zaria smiling softly. Good. The world needs more reminders. Flashback. Zariah in the ring, face bloodied, crowd laughing. Present. Zariah, radiant, holding a degree in one hand and a champion's belt in the other. Zariah. The unthinkable wasn't the ending. It was just the bell. Starting round one. Legacy isn't about what you win. It's about who you become when they tried to break you.